morning, everyone. As Hazel said, I'm employed in the North Lanarkshire Council. My substantive post is unpaid of a family learning centre in North Lanarkshire. I've been on secondment for the last 18 months delivering this programme of training. We started training around about August time last year, so I'm going to just take you through a bit of our journey this morning. Just a little bit of background first of all as to why I was asked to come out and take on this role. The Family Learning Centre that I manage is its education department that runs the centre. But all of our under 3 provision is for children who have some sort of particular need, and there's an intervention process in place for those children. So we work quite closely with a variety of different agencies, and I was lucky enough when we set up our centre in the year 2000, I was lucky enough that the town in which our centre is based were also involved in an Investing in Infants programme, which involved a lot of training and a lot of support for multi-agency practitioners to start to work better together, and Solihull training formed the basis of that. So we were lucky enough that all of our staff were trained quite quickly in the Solihull approach, so I had a lot of time to practice embedding that into our own service and working with that on a multi-agency basis within the service we provide. So just take you through a wee bit of the journey in North Lanarkshire. That's just a bit of our kind of strategic aim, what we're trying to do. And a quote that is quite popular in our authority because we feel it just kind of actually encapsulates what we're trying to do. This is our aim statement for North Lanarkshire. My post and the training that we're delivering just now has been funded through Early Years Collaborative. I know a couple of my colleagues have spoken about that this morning. Early Years Collaborative is funded through Scottish Government, and it's really funding that's been ring-fenced for multi-agency practitioners to help them to test ways of supporting families, really to achieve the aims in our Early Years Framework, which is a Scottish framework. So the funding is really there for us to use a methodology to test out small tests of change, and then hopefully that will lead them to improvement. And the idea is you test it on a small scale first, so that actually you see the benefits and you measure the impact. If it doesn't work, you stop doing it. And if it does work, you start to scale it up gradually, rather than just bring in a new policy that everything changes and everybody does it that way. I've kind of really talked about what the Early Years Collaborative is. As I said earlier, we're going to be available this afternoon if anyone wants a bit more information, but I'll skip through to try and get to the more important bits. These are our stretch aims for Early Years Collaborative. As I said, it's a government-funded programme, and we've got an improvement advisor with us, Judith Keynes, my colleague. She's come with us today. So if anybody wanted to know more about the methodology and the improvement science behind it, it's actually really interesting. You know, at first it's a bit daunting, but it's actually really interesting. Data does matter, it does actually impact, and it can convince more strategic leaders to take note and to make changes. So it's a really, really useful tool. So you can ask more later on if you're interested. So as I said earlier on, our training programme is funded through the Early Years Collaborative. We've also linked closely with Ali from NES, and she helped with some of the training of some of our trainers and funding for some of the training we've delivered. We started in an area called Craignook, which is in North Lanarkshire, and the reason we started in that area is because it's deemed as the most deprived area in North Lanarkshire. It's got the highest deprivation levels. So I was asked to go over and start training in a multi-agency way out in Craignook. We've now extended to an area called Cumbernauld. We've trained 300 practitioners from a variety of different backgrounds. We've also included the third sector, the voluntary sector, in our training as well, because we know that a lot of the work that happens with our families and early intervention happens from the third sector, so we're actually including in the training. And as Hazel looked at earlier on, we are training firefighters as well. In fact, over the summer, Cumbernauld area, all 5 watches are looking for the training, so we're going to offer that training throughout the summer holidays for them. Because quite a few of our practitioners had already been trained and we were starting a refresh programme, we spoke to Hazel about some sort of refresher day training for people who've been previously trained do you know how sometimes you're thinking, are people using it? Do they recognise they're using it? And as we've recognised already this morning, the chances are yes, they are using it in practice, but it's actually relating it to the theory. And obviously when you do that, it just validates your practice a little bit more, doesn't it? So we've offered the refresher training, which has been really well received by quite a lot of practitioners in North Lanarkshire. We're also starting to roll out the Understanding Your Child Parenting programme as well. And we have been devising some practice support sessions, which I'll come to in a minute. This is a model for improvement I referred to earlier, but again, people can speak to it in more detail if they're interested later. This is a chart just to show the spread of different agencies who've been involved in the training. And I think by far the biggest agency is Learning and Leisure Services, which is Education Service in North Lanarkshire. I think that's probably because it's been led by employee from Learning and Leisure Services. But as you can see, there's quite a spread of different agencies attending the training. In order to try and create a bit of a buzz about the whole programme, we had a conference where we launched a Nurture logo, which is the first logo you saw on the first screen there, with the two faces kind of looking at each other. And the reason that we organised the conference was to try and create a bit of a sense of anticipation that something was going to change and it was going to be something different that we were offering. So we had a Nurture conference on the 27th of March, and Hazel kind of spoke at it along with some other speakers. And that really is aimed at strategic leaders. It was aimed at strategic managers from various different services to try and introduce a little bit of enthusiasm and a focus on offering a nurturing environment for their families, with a real kind of emphasis on staff development and training, so that we would be working in a shared way. So it's a well represented conference with lots of different services. So what's been working well for us in terms of rolling out solid health approach training and this nurture approach that we're using in North Lanarkshire? I think the cluster approach has been one, as I mentioned, we started off in Craignook area, and one of our head teachers in Craignook actually has a lovely saying which she says, Craignook obviously has the highest deprivation levels. That's quite tough for people who live in Craignook to hear that all the time, and it's used quite a lot in quite a lot of presentations. And her phrase is, our postcode does not define us. So she's one of our busiest primary schools in the area. All of our staff are now trained in solid health approach and are using a real nurturing type approach to working with the families. Small example of that is if a child comes in late to school one day, it's not a case of you're late and there's a reprimand, it's a case of it's lovely to see you. Have you had breakfast? Let's go and see the kitchen, I've got some bagel meats and toast. So it's that nice nurturing type approach. The conference, as I said, was an excellent start, but we are recognising it is just a start, and we have won over some minds with more to win in terms of rolling out this approach and rolling out the training. The practice support sessions we have offered, they're probably, although it's worked well that we've offered them, I'm going to come to them in my challenges slide because there are challenges with some of the practice support sessions we've been offering as well. It can be quite difficult to get people to come along and to actually dedicate the time, particularly at the end of the day, which some sessions will run. I'll come to that later. Our heads of education and managers within services, we've been encouraging them to come to training first before their practitioner staff come, so that when their staff do come back, they're able to fully understand the approach and be able to support them and embed it into their practice, and also offer the containment that is so needed in terms of the work that we do. And that has worked very well. Quite a few of our heads of our early years provisions, our family learning centres, are also our trainers now. And where that's the case, we can really see the embedding of the solid health approach in practice within these centres. You feel it when you walk in the door, you can actually feel it in the language the practitioners are using. So it's not just embedded and supported through practice support sessions, it's an ongoing drip feed from that manager within that service. We have also created some peer support materials, although they're in the early stages of being tested at the moment, so I'll talk about them, but they're not at the stage that we're really confident of our getting out the small treats. This is a reflection pro forma that we created. What we did find was at the practice support sessions that some of the trainers that were holding those sessions felt it was a bit of a dry session because maybe they felt there wasn't a great focus. And again, we'd be really interested to see your thoughts on that happen. But we started with this forum just as a kind of an age really to help discussion, to start a kind of dialogue with people who were using the approach. And that certainly helped. And it wasn't a pro forma that had to fill in every box. We used it as a bit of an aid to start discussion on. And if we digress and we start talking about case studies, then that's absolutely fine. But I think for security, for some of our trainers who were using the practice support sessions, they find it's quite actually helpful to have something to actually distribute and start off the discussion with. And that pro forma was based on the reflective model that we get in the practice. The peer support is something that we've actually created ourselves, and we did that with support from our principal educational psychologist, but also our staff welfare officer. Very mindful of the fact that obviously we want our practitioners still to consider their own self-care. So the peer support model has been written really to try and support teams of staff who are using the Solid Health approach. So it could be an education team, it could be a health systems team, other service. And it starts off with asking somebody to present a case study. And we ask the person who's presenting to think of a question that they've got. You know how sometimes you're working with a family and you're thinking things are going really well, but then there's a bit of it you think, I'm not quite sure this is actually working, is there something else I could do here? Or you get a wee bit stuck sometimes, thinking I don't know where it's going. This model was created really to try and address that kind of stop question area. So we ask practitioners to come along, present a case, and their colleagues, their peers, act as their sounding board, act as the listeners, containing any of their anxieties. But also coming up with some sort of reflection after they've had a chance to share their story about the case. And ultimately the aim is to answer the question that they've created. And it links really well, and from an education perspective, we're constantly being asked to evidence how we self-evaluate, how we evaluate our work that we do, how we provide opportunities for peer evaluation, and we've got quality indicators we have to meet. So it ticks all the boxes for our quality indicators, so that's a bit of a sales pitch to the heads actually, to try and really get them to embed it in their practice, because if we can get them to use it and it ticks on their self-evaluation work, we know that it will also help in terms of embedding in practice and supporting that reflection that's really needed for Solid Health. So the challenges are, as people have mentioned earlier on, trainers' capacity to deliver. We have trainers now from multi-agency backgrounds. We've got CPNs, health visitors, social workers, speech and language therapists. And it's great when they co-deliver with somebody from, for example, my background from education, because it really enriches that training, and it really gives a great kind of broad spectrum of experience that you can share. But it is down to capacity. So we're at the process just now of trying to encourage our strategic leaders within our services that we would really like them to commit to delivery. So once people have been trained, we're asking them to commit 4 days a year at least to deliver Solid Health training. But actually we'd be much happier if they could increase that. But what we're looking for, we have the trainers' enthusiasm to deliver, which is great. And what they've said is that when they deliver quite regularly in the beginning, just after they've just been trained, it really helps them to consolidate their knowledge and their confidence in delivery. So what we're hoping is that we'll get that strategic staff on that, and that we would be encouraged to do that from a more strategic level. And as I said earlier on, practitioners attending the practice support sessions. And I think that's just as people go back to their day job, go back to their role, you just find it difficult sometimes, I think, to find the time. Hence the reason we've come up with the peer support model. So if people can't come out and reflect on how they're using the approach in practice, perhaps we can encourage people to be reflecting within their own service and within their own teams on how they're using the model. And a vision for me is that will become a multi-agency at some point, that they could invite in partners from other services. And keeping up with demand, as other people have said, is a bit of a solihull buzz at the moment in North Lanarkshire, and everybody's talking about it, and everybody wants a bit of training. And I'm only one person that's a coordinator and trainer, and really relying on other trainers to be released to deliver the training. So it is a bit of a challenge and a bit of a struggle. So next steps, because there is this solihull buzz at the moment, we've been asked to go into Shotts Prison and deliver the training, the Understanding the Child Behaviour programme to the dads in Shotts Prison. Shotts Prison is for long-term serving prisoners, and they have weekly contact visits with their children, and a lot of the dads are finding that they've got quite high expectations of what they want their children to be doing with them and spending time with them. And for some of the dads, they're not allowed to move from the seat they're sitting on. So if their children choose to move away from them, they're not allowed to go and follow them and try and involve themselves and interact with them. So we're going to do a wee bit of work there and delivering the Understanding the Child starting in August. And through that, actually, obviously in discussions with prison wardens to set up this programme for dads, they've become interested. So I think they're actually going to piggyback onto the fireman training, and some of the prison wardens are going to be joining in with the firemen to come along to the 2-day foundation training. Foster carers is an area as well that we've been asked to support, so we're going to be offering the training to foster carers and also to the foster care support team who are actually offering support to the foster carers. We're rolling out the whole school training again, difficulties keeping up with demand, but we've got another 8 schools about to be trained just after the summer holidays. We're trying to roll out the peer support as well, which I said earlier on is hopefully going to be the model that might suit some backgrounds better than others. And we're starting a nurture newsletter. So it will be an online newsletter linked to Earlier's collaborative newsletter in our authority, and it will share any of the research that goes on, any of the information that we receive, so we'll start from Hazel and all the other things that are happening, we'll be able to share on the nurture newsletter. So I'll just leave you with that little thought. Thanks very much for your time, folks. Thank you.